Hello, friends. Welcome to another Thursday Night Live. Tonight, we are going to create some elegant and easy handmade holiday cards, handmade Christmas cards, using the Season of Green and Gold suite with a little bit of changes. So it's going to be fun. You're going to love these cards. They are so beautiful and they're pretty simple to make too. They're really not hard. So if you are here and watch me live, I hope you'll leave me a comment. Let me know where you're watching from. Let me know if you are making your own Christmas cards this year. If you're watching the replay, special welcome to you as well. I love that you come later to watch the replay. So make sure you leave me a comment and let me know that you are here. If this was your first time here, welcome. So glad you joined us. I hope that you'll hit that subscribe button so that you always know when I go live. I am Heidi with Onigo Stamping, and I'm going to help you reconnect with your inner artist with stamps, ink, and paper to create beautiful handmade cards and gifts that your friends and relatives will love. It's a great way to send a hug in a card. So, hello, Heather from Kansas. All right, I'm going to work on making my workspace look just a little bit bigger so we can take a look at the Season of Green and Gold suite, the whole suite. We're going to look at the whole suite. So, well, most of the suite. I realized I'm missing parts of it. So anyway, hello, Michelle. So the Season of Green and Gold suite is what they sometimes call a mega suite because it has two stamp sets, two sets of dies, pattern paper, vellum, ribbon, and embellishments. It is a giant suite. The nice thing right now in October is that you could grab this suite for only $99 when you become a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. Because they're running a special, you could say, I want that whole suite. And you could then, instead of it being $153 or $154, it would be $99 and free shipping, which is a great deal. So something to think about. All right. It has the Golden Greenery stamp set and the coordinating dies. And this is just like some greenery and these bells. And then it has the Greetings of the Season stamp set. And this is all greetings. And these greetings, these have been kind of my go-to greetings this holiday season. They're just great holiday greetings. And then, of course, you have the dies. So the Golden Greenery dies, there's kind of two sets. There's these dies that cut out, like that just cut out, what do I want to say? Like you can cut out cardstock and make the pieces out of that, make greenery pieces out of that. And then there's the open dies, and these are going to cut out images that you've stamped and images from the designer series paper and the vellum. So that's really cool. And then these are really awesome. I've been using these a ton. Like you wouldn't even need to get the stamps. If you just want a really good tag set, this is a good one. These are all tags. They all have little holes that will get cut in one side. They all have the stitching on them. They're just, they're so pretty. Well, they don't all have. These ones don't have stitching, but they're very, very pretty. Really great tags. So those are the stamp sets and dies. And then, of course, we have the pattern paper. Now, we use this on Tuesday night as well, but it's just so gorgeous. It is Old Olive and Mossy Meadow and white and vanilla. So really pretty. And then the other side has all of those gold accents. So pretty gold accents. And then there are dies that will cut out some of these bells. There are dies that will cut out these greenery pieces. And then there's just some gold and vanilla pieces. And then there is a vellum as well. And the vellum is so pretty. It is a printed vellum. The dies are going to cut out all of these images on here, which is kind of nice. And then there's one that is just like a white snow thing going on. And then there's this one. And the dies, again, are going to cut out all of these images as well. So you can make some really pretty cards with that. All right. There is also a ribbon. I am missing the ribbon. And I forgot to pull out the embellishments. The embellishments are, let me see if I can find them. Here they are. They are the cherry cobbler and pearl berries. So they come in these little 3 ones, and then there's single ones too. I wanted to go with a little bit different color scheme. Instead of doing green and red, I wanted to do green and purple, just to kind of like give it a little twist, right? So we're going to do green and Blackberry Bliss because I think that it is more elegant, right? All right, so I'm going to start. Let's see. We're going to do, I think I'm going to do 2 cards tonight. I'm going to try it. We'll see how it goes. Normally I only do 1 card on Thursdays, but I think I'm going to try to do 2. And the first card I'm going to stamp. So this is going to be a primarily stamped card. I am starting with a piece of very vanilla. This is 3 1/4 by 3 1/4. And the first thing I want to do is I'm actually going to put a dot in the center of this. So 3 1/4 by 3 1/4. We cut that in half. That is going to be 1 5/8. So I'm just putting this in at 1 5/8. All right. I'm going to close the little top here. I'm going to take my pen. I'm going to take my pen right here. And I'm going to come down to 1 5/8 this way. And I'm just going to make a dot right there. If this, that pen doesn't reach. I used this pen earlier and it reached. Let's see. I'm sure to get in the right spot. There we go. And it doesn't have to be perfect in the center. It's just kind of to give you some guidance. And you don't have to worry. You could use pen or pencil. We're going to cover it up in the end. It's not going to show. All right. But I found that it was easier just to kind of have that little dot on there. So I knew where the center was. All right. Let's start with some Old Olive ink. And this is a 2-step stamping set, which means there are 2 stamps to create the images. So I'm going to start with the bold pine bough. Sometimes words are hard. I'm going to start with the bold pine bough, and I'm going to stamp that up here in this corner. And I'm going through that center dot that I put on there. It's going to kind of disappear, but you can kind of see it too at the same time. And I'm going to stamp one going this direction as well. All right. And then I'm going to leave my Old Olive ink pad out because we're going to use that again in just a second. But I'm going to grab my Mossy Meadow ink pad, and we're going to stamp. This is kind of like the detail of the pine bough. So, hello, Jane. Welcome to your first live with me. So glad you could be here. And Ellen and Shannon and Bonnie. All right, so I'm just going to try to line this up. I found that it doesn't, I don't know. I don't think that there is a perfect lineup on it. So we're just going to do it. There we go. And then we'll flip it around. We'll do it again over here. All right, so now we have some just greenery on there. Then I'm going to set aside the Mossy Meadow. And I'm going to do a different kind of leaf. I'm going to do the base of it in Old Olive again. Let me see. Let's do it about there. And we're going to do 2 of these. And I'm going to come over here. We're going to do it a couple times over here as well. And I've got a whole bunch of ink on my black, so I'm hoping I don't end up with that on my card. There we go. So we added those ones in. And now I'm going to add the second piece to that leaf, and I'm going to use some soft seafoam because I just wanted to add just a really light green on there. So we'll ink this up, and you want to look through your stamp and just try to line up the bases and then stamp it. I find it lines up pretty easily. Some stamps you have kind of a hard time. This one doesn't seem to be too hard to get lined up on there. And I'm just rotating my piece of cardstock as I go. All right, you got to figure out where this was. I put this one in a weird spot, and now I don't know. Oh, there we go. There we go. Ooh, got it. It's a little bit harder because I have so much greenery already in there that it can get hard to see what I'm trying to line it up with. That one kind of missed, but that's okay. So there we go. There is just some greenery that we have stamped on there. It looks a little messy and odd, but it's gonna look better. I want to grab a piece of Very Vanilla, and I'm going to grab my 1 3/4 inch punch that out. And I want to stamp my sentiment on here. I'm going to stamp the sentiment with some Blackberry Bliss so we can pull in that Blackberry Bliss. And I forgot to get out the sentiments for this. So let's go ahead and just grab them because we're going to do Happy Holidays. I'm going to use kind of the script Holidays and the print Happy, the block Happy, and they have both. So there's a script Christmas and a block Christmas, and like a block Holidays and a script Holidays and a script Merry and a block Merry. So you can mix and match them as you want. And that is what I'm going to do with this. Let's put these on some blocks. All right, I'm going to start with the Happy and ink that up with some Blackberry Bliss. There we go. And then I'm going to come in with the Holidays, and I'm going to put the Holidays on a slant. So I'm going to come in here and stamp it just like that. So you kind of have like a straight and a slant. And then actually we still need this Blackberry Bliss because we're going to add some berries to this as well. I kind of wanted to pull in my circle so I knew where I wanted to put my berries. I'm going to start with the outside of the berries because again, these have two. We're just going to kind of fill in some areas. Add a little berry fun. So, all right. Yeah, Michelle, isn't that pretty? It is so gorgeous. It is just really, really gorgeous greenery. All right. And then there's an inside of the berry. I'm going to do these with Blackberry Bliss as well, but I'm going to stamp off on my grid paper so that we get a lighter color. That is called second generation stamping. So if you ever hear somebody talk about second generation stamping, that means stamping after you have already stamped once. Stamping a second time. I'm just going to do that and add the insides of these berries, and that just kind of gives us two tones instead of using two different colors ink. So there we go. Blackberry Bliss is one of your favorite colors. Oh, it's such a pretty one. All right, we're going to start building this card. So the first thing I'm going to do, this was 3 1/4 by 3 1/4. I'm going to put it on a piece of Mossy Meadow that is 3 3/8 by 3 3/8. All right. Oops. So there's 3 3/8 by 3 3/8. And then I'm going to put that on a piece of Blackberry Bliss that is 3 3/4 by 3 3/4. So I do that a lot. I will do, the inside was 3 1/4 by 3 1/4. And then I added a 1/2 inch for the Blackberry Bliss. So I added 1/8 of an inch for the Mossy Meadow and then a 1/2 inch for the Blackberry Bliss. And I just love the way that gives you like a skinny frame and then a wider frame. So now I decided after I made this, I want to switch it up a little bit. So I'm going to grab, this is the pattern paper that I used, and I'll show you both of my samples at the end. Let me find what I'm looking for. But after I did this, I was like, I feel like I kind of want to distress the edges of this just a little bit. So we're going to come in with a blending brush, and I'm going to add just a little bit of ink to the outside edge. I think I'm going to go with Old Olive. I feel like the Mossy Meadow might be too dark. So we're going to try the Old Olive, see what it looks like. Maybe I'll like my original sample better. I'm just going to ink up my blending brush, tap it off. I should use a block for that, but I don't have one out. And I'm just going to add a little ink to the edges of this, just to kind of darken up the edges a little bit. Maybe I should have used Mossy Meadow. Well, the nice thing is Mossy Meadow is darker, so we can always come back in with Mossy Meadow if we want. All right. Just adding that to all the edges. Let's see what that's going to look like. It's going to go on a piece of Mossy Meadow. I don't know. All right, I'm going to do it. I'm going to add just a little bit of Mossy Meadow. Hopefully it's not too much. Hopefully it's not overpowering. Switching things up tonight. We'll see how it looks. Kim, I'm so glad you're here live. Yay! All right, let's add just a little bit of Mossy Meadow to those edges. Adding in a little bit. Give us a little bit of a distressed edge on this pattern paper. I love this plaid. I love a good plaid. I feel like there are currently not enough plaids because I love a good plaid. I missed it like last year. Last couple of years, we've had like full packs of pattern paper that have just been plaid, and I love them. All right, we're stopping there. We're not adding any more ink. There's our piece. Just kind of fades out the edges a little bit. I'm going to come in with a piece of Mossy Meadow. This is 4 1/4 by 11 inches, and I scored it at 5 1/2 to create the center. And I'll give it a squish with my bone folder. And then we'll add this to the front. Oh, I do like that. We'll look at them both side by side when I get done, and you can tell me which one you like better. You like that I added the ink or not? I don't know. Show us your nail ghost. Oh, there are my nail ghosts. Aren't they fun? They glow in the dark too. So we are headed out this weekend. We are going to Cedar Point to their Hollow weekends. So I wanted to have appropriate nails for that. All right, I'm going to add my stamped greenery to here. Pull that in. So pretty. And then I'm using the Blackberry Bliss and gold ribbon. And I'm going to make like a little loop in there. And I'm going to tape it down with some tape. Thank you, Sherry. I use a couple pieces of tape. I'm just taping this down. It covers up the greenery a little bit, but I like the way it looks. And then just snip the edges, snip the ends, just like that. And then we'll add our Happy Holidays to the center over top of that ribbon. And of course, this we're going to add with some Stampin' Dimensionals because we have to have Stampin' Dimensionals on something. I was very reserved. I did not put them on any of those layers because I knew the ribbon was going to be a little bit bulky. So let's see. I didn't put so many dimensionals on. All right, so this is going to go right in the center. There we go. And now I'm going to come in. We're going to add just a little bit more bling. So I have the transparent adhesive back dots. I've used a ton of these. There's a couple, there's like a, I don't know, I think it's Shaded Spruce maybe. And I think this is Lemon Lime Twist, but I like these Blackberry Bliss ones and they were perfect on this card. You like that it's smart and classy looking. Yes, it's very, very elegant. And it was not hard to make. So I'm just going to add a couple of these. You maybe wouldn't need to, but it just felt like I wanted to add a couple more berries and I wanted them to have some depth to them. So there we go. So there is card number 1. I'm going to make 2 tonight, which I don't normally do, but I felt like I wanted to show you 2 very, very different cards. So I don't know, can you tell? You can kind of tell that I added that ink around the outside of the pattern paper. Let me know what you think. Do you prefer with the ink or without the ink, with a cleaner look to it? I don't know. All right. I'm going to clean off my stamps just a little bit before I start the second card. The second card does not have as much stamping on it because instead of stamping, Sherry, you like the one with the ink? Instead of stamping, we are going to die cut some pieces for it. So like there's so many different ways that you can use these stamp sets that it was hard deciding what to do. All right, come on. I just don't want to, I want to get this ink off because otherwise I am certain I'm going to drop some cardstock in it. Because that's what I do. So we'll get all these out of the way. It's a little bit of chaos going on at my desk right now. All right, there we go. So let's go in. We'll start. Bonnie, you like the no ink, and Michelle likes it with the ink. All right, well, you can do it either way. Either way will work. All right, let's come back. Let me see. So this time we're going to start by doing some cutting. So I have some Mossy Meadow and, oh shoot, y'all. All right, I gotta pull my computer out of here. My computer has been having problems, and what happens is that I don't know, it cuts me out. So I'm gonna quick pop out and see if I can pop back in, and then hopefully this works. All right. See if this brings back my camera, because I just disappear. All right, here we go. There we go. I am back. No ink and less ribbon. All right. So we're going to do some cutting. I have some Mossy Meadow and some Blackberry Bliss cardstock that I'm going to cut with. And I'm just going to lay those on my cutting plate. And then we're going to pull out these ones that just cut kind of shapes. And I'm going to cut some of these leaves. I think these are leaves, but I'm making them purple. I'm making them Blackberry Bliss. We're going outside the box. Because that's what I do. All right. I just realized that. Let's see. I'm going to cut a couple of these, and I'm going to come in. I need to cut one more afterwards. So hopefully I can get it out of this piece. I forgot about that. All right. We're going to run this through. Running this through my cut and emboss machine, which is another thing. If the full-size cut and emboss machine has been on your wish list for a while, October would be a great time to get it, because again, normally you can't get it in your Stampin' Up! Demonstrator starter kit because it's too expensive. But because they up how much you can get in October, that means that in October you could put the Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine on your Demonstrator starter kit and get a really good deal on it. Definitely something to think about if that has been on your wish list for a while. All right, I'm going to pull out my pieces, and I need to cut another. I'm going to cut another big one. So we'll lay that on there. I'm going to pull out this purple. We'll set that aside, the Blackberry Bliss one. And I'm going to run this through one more time to get my other branch. So, all right, here we go. Run that through. Roll, roll, roll. There we go. All right. There's our other branch. Now we can start putting stuff together, building our card. I'm going to come in. I'm going to pull out these purple. Like I said, I think they're supposed to be leaves or something. I don't know. I'm thinking of them as berries. That's purple things. And I actually only want to use a part of this because when I put it together, it just felt way too big. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to come in here and I'm going to snip just this little part off because I just want to use a little bit of it. All right. So now I have a piece of Mossy Meadow. This Mossy Meadow is, let me see, 3 3/4 by 5 inches. And I have another piece of that plaid, which is so pretty. And this is 3 5/8 by 4 7/8. I'm gonna adhere this. Now I technically only need a small portion of this, but it was just easier. I was tired of mathing, so I just cut the whole piece. And then I have another piece. This is 3 1/4 by 3 5/8, and we're going to adhere that to the top. That's why I'm saying I could have just cut 2 pieces and cut a smaller piece of the plaid. I love this. This is so pretty. I didn't use it this time though. But the subtraction was hard, and I was like, I'm just gonna put plaid all the way underneath. I'm just gonna make it easy. All right. So there is our polka dot on top of there. Really fun polka dot. I love polka dot and plaid together. Then I want to come in with some of that Blackberry Bliss ribbon again, and we're just gonna put this across the front. There's not gonna be any bow or anything. I'm just gonna cut it the width of my card, and we'll lay it on there, and then slide it around to the back. And I'm gonna tape it. I'm gonna add a little bit of tape. So there we go. There's a little bit of tape right on there. Oh, it's crooked. Straighten that up. You can tell with the plaid when it's straight. That was a nice thing about the plaid and the stripes. You can tell if your ribbon is on there straight. All right. I do want to stamp a sentiment for this. And this one I'm going to punch with my 2-inch circle punch. I love my circle punches. So I'm punching that with my 2-inch circle punch. And this one I'm going to put Merry Christmas on it. I'm again going to stamp this with the Blackberry Bliss. And I'm going to start by stamping Christmas. And I'm going to try to get it kind of straight across here. There we go. And then I'm going to come in with the Merry and stamp it above it. And again, trying to get it straight-ish. I love using the grid paper for this because it gives me lines across here that I can kind of, use to eyeball and see what is straight, which usually helps. Not always. Not always does it help. So let's see. You replied to your husband. That's too funny. All right. This is going to come in here on like that. So I just want to kind of set this up how I want it to be. We're going to kind of dry fit it together. Punch out these little extra pieces. Now, I didn't bother putting adhesive sheet on this because there's a fair amount of space in the center. And I kind of wanted the edges to not be adhered down, just so they kind of, I don't know, have a more organic look to them. So we're going to put this one in here. Punch out these little bits. Yeah. All right, get my take your pick tool so I can punch these out. There we go. They were just not coming out. Still not wanting, like one side of it is not fully. There we go. All right, so then this one, the smaller one, I'm going to put down here. We're going to come in with our purple in here someplace. And then this little half one. So I have this half one because I knew that I just needed part of it. And we'll come in there. All right. It's all falling apart. Not working very well, but it's okay. So I'm going to come in with my large one. I kind of know where they're going already. And I'm just going to put some adhesive, some green glue in the large sections in the center. I'm not going to worry too much about getting a ton on there. So just adhere that like that. And we'll put in this one. I love that they kind of branch two different directions because it kind of helps you fill in a little bit. We'll add a little bit of green glue on there. And then this is going to go right in here. I want to add my little, I don't know, my leaf berries. What do you think? Are they leaves? Are they berries? Or are they both? Normally, I would have said they were berries, but then they look very much like the leaves from the stamp in the designer series paper, which are green. So, well, thank you, Maria Christina. I'm glad you enjoyed it. Glad you could join us. I'm just going to add those in there. And then we'll take this last piece. And add it. And then, of course, it doesn't matter what it looks like over here because we're going to put our sentiment right there. I'm just going to add this in. Now, for my sentiment, I did use my Stylish Shapes dies and I cut one of those circles because I just wanted to put a little bit of a border on there. Okay, so I'm going to add here my sentiment to this mossy meadow circle that I cut. You like the color combination? It's not something you would have thought of. I think it's very elegant. I think the using the Blackberry Bliss instead of red just makes it fancier. And then you have those gold accents. All right, we're going to add this right here over top. So I'm going to pull in my Stampin' Dimensionals, which I think have gone on a little holiday. They were missing for a second there. Put them where they go, then maybe I'll be able to find them. They look like berries when they're cut from Blackberry Bliss. That's what I think too. So I'm saying that's what they are. All right, so we'll add our sentiment on there. And then we're going to put this on a piece of Blackberry Bliss cardstock. Again, I went with a 4 1/4 by 11 inch piece. So it's a top folding vertical card. This is just going to go right on here. So these are so pretty. Oh, so pretty. And this one is really quite simple too. There's a little bit of die cutting on it, but it's not, you know, a ton, right? So there we go. And then let's come in with some of our gems again. Yeah. Some of the adhesive back gems. If I can find my take your pick tool. Here we go. All right. Let's see. Let's add this one. And we'll add a little one. And we'll add another little one up here. And maybe, I don't know, maybe a big one. A big one there. And another little one. Another little one up there. There we go. But, you know, I sit here and I move the gems all the time. It's like all I do. I put them down, I pick them up. There we go. There is our card. And I have one more to share with you. I'm not going to make it all. I'm just going to show you the sample, but isn't that pretty? So where do I come up with my card designs? I just kind of make them up, right? So I look at a lot of different cards and things, but I generally don't fully copy. I might see something like maybe I saw something where it had kind of this layout where it had, you know, a strip down here and a circle. And then I was like, oh, I kind of want to do a strip and a circle. That's really cool. I'm going to do something similar. But I don't generally just like copy the same card. I get little ideas or little inspirations or, oh, I like that color combo or, you know, things like that. All right. So here is my third card. This one I die cut with the Greetings of the Season dies. And then this is the vellum. So can you see this is the printed vellum, which is really pretty. And I cut some of those branches out and just added them on there. So there we go. There are my 3 cards for this evening. Hopefully you enjoyed them. Hopefully you like this suite as much as I do. This is one of the online exclusive suites, and it came out in July, and this was kind of the first time that I had used it like as a whole suite. I've used bits and pieces of it, like on a lot of stuff. I've used the paper on a lot of stuff, but I hadn't really pulled out the Golden Greenery set and really used that. So this was kind of the first time that I put it all together, which I just think it's so much fun. It's a fabulous suite. And I love that we get these online exclusives. We are getting more in November, and they're amazing. I can't wait to play with them with you. So, all right. Anna, you see an inspiration, then you do your way with what you have. Yep, exactly. All right. Thank you all so much for joining me tonight. I will be back next week, Tuesday. Tuesday night, we are doing a one sheet wonder. I hope that you will join me. We're going to make 3 cards with 1 piece of 6x6 pattern paper. So definitely come and check that out. Watch for the complete supply list on Monday afternoon. And then I will be live Tuesday night. So I will see you then. Have a great weekend.